and you need some disengage, you don't have Janna, it's like, okay, let's play Gragas as jungle instead.
That's true. Let's see if that's going to be the case. Maybe a little bit less disengage might open up the Gragas. But now the draft has started as Cerberus Esports on your blue, Impunity Esports on your red. And right off the bat, that's a Lee Sin being banned out.
Lee Sin, Gragas, now the 3 contested bans are at least, you know, the removal of which will be Camille, Rengar, and Galio. I think at least one of them is going to get through. You see the Galio removed, so it should be the Camille, Rengar here for Impunity Esports because they are on red side. They could afford to let both through, you know, just target ban something from Cerberus and they'll get access to either one of those picks as well. So they ban the Ziggs, now they'll get either the Rengar or Camille.
There we go with Ziggs ban. That means no first pick Ziggs. We'll have to see what the choice is now for Cerberus. Just as you mentioned, of course, the Camille can be flexed either jungle, maybe a top side, so adds a little bit of mystery. Now, what will Impunity pick this time around?
I like the Janna. Instant reply from Scarlet Petal because Monsoon and Howling Gale are both insane answers to the Hextech Ultimatum. The moment she jumps on you, you pop the Monsoon, blow her outside of the Octagon, it cancels the ultimate, right? And the Olaf here is also another response. It's like, you're not going to out an Olaf here.
Exactly. This is exactly what we saw in our previous match. Onic and one team. You see the Olaf insta-lock that Jarvan, and now it is going to be Kaisa for Genza over here.
I think the Ahri pick here is a bit greedy, guys. The Xayah is good, but the Ahri is just kind of, you're relying on hitting that clutch charm. You're relying on hitting, or rather finding a pick with that charm into allowing your team to get a man advantage in these fights. So if Ahri is unable to find those kills, in this case you have a Nami you want to kill, you have a Kaisa you want to kill, if you can't find those picks, those fights feel a lot more awful for Swirl here.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge for Swirl for sure. Having to find those charms, I guess a little bit of good news that at least most of Cerberus Esports a little bit squishy. But on the other side, for Bush though, or Wild Boar rather, he is going to be Bush rather on the Xayah this time around.
Yeah, Xayah is a great pick. I love it in the current meta. It's a high APM, high mechanical ceiling champion just purely because you need to position yourself versus the feathers, and there's a certain level of micro that you need to kind of drag your screen and see where your feathers are. You can't just blindly lay out your feathers and hope to survive. So if you have the fingers to play, if you have the mechanics to do it, by all means pick up the Xayah, right?
Yeah, exactly. Having to find the route, having to get that additional self-peel, rather, as we get to see on the Janna pick there, as there's the Monsoon, there's the Howling Gale, just for that additional safety on your carries. The biggest question is whether or not we get to see, again, this Galio, or rather this Olaf and Jarvan for matchup in the jungle, rather, it's going to be definitely interesting for Cerberus and Impunity.
It's funny because this is a matchup that has gone like, you know, decades old, right? In the days of like League of Legends PC. You see Olaf, you instant pick Jarvan because in League of Legends PC, people normally go Ghost on Olaf. This time you kind of have to go Flash.
Exactly. Has to go Flash just for that additional escape out of the crater. So now Faye will definitely sort of just focus on this Cataclysm, make sure to trap Wild Boar on his cage. At the moment, though, this is a little bit interesting. Probably going to get that early poke on Genza. So looking at the exchange of HP, I guess, you know, support for an AD carry.
The last pick in the Impunity Esports draft was actually an Orianna. So they picked it and they sent it to the Baron lane instead. And they had Scarlet Petal playing mid. So there's a role swap coming in from Impunity Esports. And this is something completely unexpected. I feel like with their previous roster, they were severely outclassed. This is just, again, a deviation from the norm. The way they played during the playoffs, they need to bring out something new if they want to stand a chance against Cerberus Esports.
Yeah, that's true. Impunity did have a tough match or series entirely up against Alliance. So with that said, you're right. It is something new we've never seen before. So this could be very interesting. You know, double magic on the board as Wild Boar will spot out Faye in a little bit deep into their jungle, but now it's a 2v2. Nicely done dash to avoid the charm. Now Wild Boar is going to be the focus as First Blood will go to Impunity over there as they eliminate Taku, but it's going to be a 1-for-1 jungler for jungler.
You could see there, like, if you miss the charm on Ahri, it just feels awful, right? You don't hit anything afterwards, and that's kind of like the story of the Ahri pick. It's very greedy. You have the mobility to dodge ganks, but you live or die by the charm connecting, and in that case, it didn't connect. Thankfully, Impunity were able to trade 1-for-1, but they blow a lot more summoner spells on their end because you can see Courtevoix on the support here had to use his exhaust and flash.
Yeah, that's the thing, you know, Taku has ways to sort of maneuver without using the flash out of that charm. So definitely just used Wild Boar as his dash path, basically. In the meantime, though, Scarlet Petal will be happy, I suppose. Or rather, it was Wild Boar getting that first blood kill. So additional gold for him for sure.
Yep, he's looking to build into the Black Cleaver as Cote d'Ivoire makes a rotation up. I do like this, you know, when the supports come up just to make sure that there are no shenanigans.
Oh, that is a Cataclysm trapping two people. Scarlet Petal, no flash anymore. Cote d'Ivoire as well. So definitely pretty low and could have fallen from that battle.
I think they were worried to commit because they didn't get the kill instantly and they were scared that Wild Boar was going to come in for the counter gank. The Olaf arriving late and being able to chase him down with the axes is a big threat, so they had to respect that as we see Genza going in.
There we go. Bush very low. There's still no bubble, and that's going to be the Feather Storm used just to avoid that, but no ult. But here comes the charm getting eaten by Taku as he dashes in. But, you know, Scarlet Petal, no mana anymore.
If he had mana, you know, he could probably turn it around because he does have Ignite as well as Spirit Rush. Again, the idea of hitting Charm, win lane, missing Charm, you die is very, very obvious here in the mid lane of Impunity Esports.
Yeah, good thing though, you know, Diana, a little bit telegraphed once you dash. It's a little bit easier to sort of land that charm in. Kind of similar to maybe when a Zed comes in on his ult. But 19 seconds on the clock, hold that thought, as top side is going to be a little bit of an attack of BMM to Swirled, but that exhaust will stop him in his tracks.
Is he that afraid that he pops the exhaust instantly the moment he gets jumped on? That's not a good sign for Swirl. Like, there's no way he can stay in this long lane. Now that he doesn't have exhaust and Hextech automated is up, I feel like he is kind of outmatched here.
Yeah, definitely. That exhaust will not be available anytime soon. When, you know, Impunity decides to contest this Air Drake, we'll have to see what the decision is, because so far it is this strong four-man. And I think that is the sad part about the Impunity comp at the moment. They still need to be together to make this effective. Unlike Cerberus, their four-man is pretty solid.
Now, BMM is going to base here. He's going to be looking to rotate down towards the Dragon, so they have all 5 members to contest this. And I think that Swirl should make the same choice. Like, an Orianna not present at a team fight is not an Orianna.
Agree. Definitely need that ball delivery system towards Wild Boar for sure. But now, Dragon already almost half HP, but here comes BMM already trapping Wild Boar, and there's still no Cataclysm. Look at that patience as the flash is used, as the bubble is unleashed, but no one will get caught on that, but Wild Boar is the victim.
Look at the minimap. Swirl is still in the Baron lane. This is a communication issue coming in from Impunity Esports. If your AoE teamfight mage isn't there, why are you contesting a Dragon that really doesn't have the best combat stats? It's just additional rotation ability.
That's true, exactly. It is the pressure from Impunity to sort of see if they can try something, maybe get the snowball rolling. But Cerberus has been winning this early so far. And now, I guess Swirled wants to get a couple of plates on his back, at least for a consolation prize.
The good news is, yeah, like you said, he gets the plates. He's leading in terms of gold, but he does not have any impact unless he joins in the team fight. Now, credit to Impunity, these 5-on-5 should still be very deadly if they can find a position to kite back from. It's really tough to chase into Janna as well as Orianna, because the moment you walk into a ball and you overcommit, Shockwave punishes you. So the way they fight has to be kiting backwards with the Xayah, with the Orianna, with the Janna.
They all have to be together. There is a big chance this will happen. Well, not really, because Bush and Scarlet, or rather Bush and Cote d'Ivoire, are going to be staying at the bottom portion of the map. So Cerberus will take this Rift Herald, another objective, uncontested.
If they don't get the turret here, it's going to be a big waste. Like, immediately clearing out the wave, BMM sacrifices his health just to make sure the wave doesn't collapse. So that's a free Rift Herald. Impunity Esports finds zero answer there, and Cerberus Esports are just going to push and advance the lead even more.
Yeah, that's true. The fact that, you know, they rotated Fly to assist BMM here. So, yeah, that is Impunity, unfortunately not exchanging anything off of the map. So now this could be a potential tower dive.
Sword missed his Shockwave. There's no way he can defend here.
Okay. So no Shockwave now available. So that is Cerberus. That will definitely take this as an opportunity to most likely strike. But Scarlet Petal, though, a little bit slippery, so I don't think that will be their option.
He's making his way back to the Baron lane. They should know he doesn't have the shockwave, and now that he's in that for a skill, he's dead here.
Oh, there is the Moonfall activated, and now he is gone, as that's another follow-up. There's the Charm, but still able to flag and drag before anything else. So Cerberus gets to escape after getting a kill.
Good rotation coming in. That was the smart play. You see the shockwave down, just dive this guy, right? I mean, the most he can do is just flash and exhaust you, but there's no way he's counter-killing you without the shockwave. So Cerberus understanding their windows of opportunity, punishing Impunity Esports here.
Cerberus making a lot of these quick and great decisions to keep furthering their lead up against Impunity. It is a 2K gold lead so far, but tower-wise, I mean, that top side tower will fall pretty soon, especially if, you know, Cerberus decides to put more pressure on that. But it's a little bit of a dark map at the moment for Cerberus.
If we have a lull in the game, can we get the observers to pull up the items? Because there's something I want to talk about. I was talking about this in Twitch chat earlier, but essentially the build that the Kai'Sa has, which is BS Sword, Executioners, and Vamp Scepter. In fact, you don't even need the Vamp Scepter. You just need a Longsword, right? That's the most efficient and cheapest build to get your Evolved Decathlon Rain. And that in itself is a power spike better than any item.
The power spike already for Cerberus to take on these fights for sure. As again, unfortunately, Impunity really has to make things happen for, you know, this swirl. The Wild Boar, though, he's gonna be fine. I mean, he has Ragnarok to pop off and escape from BMM.
He has a build of a garage sale build right now, like holding onto the Phage, the Bramble Vest. Like he doesn't know what he wants, right? And that feels kind of awful. Okay, he's finally gonna get a Spectres as well, but still, it's not ideal here for Impunity Esports.
Yeah, that's true. A little bit of everything, I suppose, on his inventory. As a Wild Boar, now, again, he is going to be that main front line to soak all of the damage coming from Cerberus. So, yeah, right. You mentioned he's definitely going to need everything that he can, a completed item for sure. At the moment, though, for Cerberus, they are going to be happy just releasing this Rift Herald in the mid lane. And now Impunity has to defend from this one.
Exactly. It forces Impunity into a lose-lose situation. Either lose the Ocean Dragon or lose your mid-tier 1. They're going to converge on the Dragon, though.
Oh, that is a Ragnarok getting popped, and now they're switching targets here and there. That's a triple man Moonfall, and the Cataclysm dropped in a choke point. And now Genza getting more kills. That's a double kill already to Swirl, to QWQ, and more kills to follow as they've already taken down Wild Boar. Triple kill. That could be a potential tower dive, possibly, if they do want to. That's the Charm hitting, but the bubble doesn't connect, but still wins that 1v2 situation. Genza so close to death, but gets a quadra kill at
Another
the same time.
quadra kill. Riku, the first game we had one, and that's when the game kind of went awful for the team that got quadra. This time it's going to be the Oppo Ace coming for CERBERUS Esports, and they say we don't even need the Dragon at this point. We're just going to siege down bot tier 1, reset, and then see how things go, because they have the 7k gold lead, Riku.
That is absolutely insane. I mean, going to the right targets as well. You mentioned, you know, Genza was already primed and running for his spike, his optimal build, and now getting to complete all these items for himself makes him even much scarier than before.
He had a Cathian Rain evolve during that team fight. Now he has the Supercharge evolve. So he's going to be invisible when he uses his Supercharge. And it allows him to position around not only the Orianna Ball, but also dodge away from the Charm from Scarlet Petal's Ahri. So this is a lot of mobility, a lot of kill threat that Genza represents. Unless they kill off the Kai'Sa in these long-form fights, CERBERUS Esports is just going to clean up with the AD carry.
Yeah, their target definitely is to remove Genza with the most gold, with the most kills, with the most threat. Will be for sure a challenge. I mean, there is a little bit of window once Genza maybe pops the killer instinct aggressively and gets caught in the middle of everybody from Impunity. But that scenario so far, though, because Cerberus has been catching Impunity off guard time and time again. In the meantime, though, Impunity forced to just defend. There's a Ragnarok being popped out. He's trapped into that. Unstoppable now for Genza. That's unfortunately QWQ gone.
QWQ is dead, there's no reset, so CERBERUS Esports, they can push the issue now. They can force a re-engage with Taku if they find a window, and now they're just making their way down towards this dragon area of the jungle. Of course, Taku isn't in that fight, so there's no way for him to really start anything off. He's okay split pushing against Scarlet Petal.
definitely fine with just creating more pressure off of the map, creating more space for the potential Baron, especially that well, Wild Boar's flash is going to come up soon, so that will be extremely important unless that gets baited out with the two junglers meeting in the middle. But so far, so good for Cerberus. 10k gold lead.
I like what I'm seeing so far from CERBERUS Esports, understanding the answer to the Olaf, understanding how to play around the map, the composition. Like, fundamentally very solid Wild Rift coming in here from the Vietnamese second seed.
Yeah, they're very convincing so far. They're very patient. They're not too antsy to start something despite having this huge of a lead. They're fine just playing with the lanes, just trying to shove the lanes down and possibly maybe lead towards that Baron for that extra win condition for them to push down these lanes.
And to talk a little bit about my boys from the Singapore region, Impunity Esports here, how do they come back into this game, right? It has to be a big shockwave from Swirl to kind of turn things around as Scarlet Petal is in trouble here.
There is the Flash Dash and Moonfall will be dodged by the Zhonya's, but Faye is lying and waiting. He wants to use the Flash for the Cataclysm, but sees Quartervoix around, so just abort mission over there by Cerberus.
They committed a lot to try and get the kill. It was the Moonfall and the Killer Instinct and the flashes from Taku and Faye. So for the next 5-on-5 teamfight, they're a lot weaker. But similarly, Scarlet Petal doesn't have his flash either. So I feel like this still goes in Impunity's favor just because the mobility isn't there for Cerberus. They can't press the matter. If they overextend and get hit by a 5-man shockwave, Impunity still has a way in.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there is, just as you mentioned, that Spirit Rush for that additional mobility as well. So that is an option for an escape. But usually do want to try to use that for additional, I suppose, chase potential. Just to try and see if you can get a pick. But you mentioned it is going to be relying on Swirl for a big shockwave, which I think, you know, these potential scenarios could fall and appear maybe around the Baron Pit if Cerberus decides to bait.
This also kind of describes why CERBERUS Esports is so hesitant about taking the Baron despite being 10k a hit, because that Baron Pit is the perfect battleground for a shockwave to turn the tables of this game. So I can see the hesitance. I understand why they're trying to keep Sword away, and as long as Impunity stops CERBERUS Esports from getting the Baron, they're still way back into this game. They can take their time with this one. Bush is eventually going to scale up too. Right now, Baron being started up, Riku.
Yeah, I mean, Wildboard does have Flash, so remember, we've seen Flash Ragnarok before just to see if there's going to be a smite potential, and the fact that Swirl can place the ball and activate that shockwave, but they're too far away, they have no vision, and Cerberus gets this one easy.
They were zoned away by BMM there. I think in the mid lane, he was just holding on, making sure that Impunity Esports could not walk up. And now they're splitting up. They send the Camille to split push while they collect this mid-tier 2. Jumping in though, he gets hit by the charm. Big fight in the mid lane. No,
that's the Monsoon activated. Wildboard solo, use Ragnarok just, but that's a triple man bubble. Wow, we as now more kills for Genza. Effortless kills. He is now legendary. And unfortunately, only Wildboar is the only one left over here as he pops more an attempt, a last defense. But unfortunately, Cerberus is going to take the Nexus, and they get their first win here over at the Summer Super Cup.
I love how coordinated CERBERUS Esports are. You saw in that final fight, right? The moment the jungler decided to pull the trigger, Faye went into the Cataclysm. Well, it was a bubble. It was everything afterwards. As they're coming up to the screen, they're showing off. Guys, we know you won. It's great.
Super cute. Showing the stats right after the win. I bet they're very happy about their first win. They're off to a good start over here at Group C. And you're right, they look super convincing. They look super calm. And they're not trying anything too extra. They were just very focused on their win condition.
Esports is very, understanding of the macro play in itself.
Exactly. They are, they were a little bit scared, but at the same time, they were able to sort of zone out the rest of Impunity to deny any sort of steal. I mean, what we saw in the previous match with one team, they usually want to bait out a flash or bait out the Ragnarok before pursuing any, heavy objectives off the map. But, the zone was enough to deny any sort of potential steals from Wildboar.
Yeah, good stuff coming in from CERBERUS Esports. Looking, Group C is starting to look a little bit stacked. I'm kind of concerned for Impunity Esports here as well. Like, they might be the team that doesn't make it out of group stages. Just going to put that out there.
It is looking super tough, just as you mentioned. Not